Hello and welcome to the Browns Blitz. Today is Thursday, September 11th. This is episode number 312. I'm your host, Rod Bloom. Joining me today is my brother, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, how are things going?
Oh, hey, Rod. 1 weekend and it's already feeling like it's going to be a long season, huh?
It does kind of feel that way. It does. Uh, we got 30 minutes, but thought we'd kind of get things going here and and get things started. Maybe we'll hold off on the on our Blitz beverages. See if see if he joins us. But I guess first things first, Jeff. I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that today is 9/11. And we're recording a football podcast, and I don't feel it's right to just kind of record this without saying that we remember 9/11. We're not going to forget what happened on that day. We remember where we were. We remember the lives that were lost. We remember the unprovoked attack. But for me, most of all, I remember the unparalleled unity in the country at that time after the attacks. And I just wanted to put that out there before we move on with our football talk.
All
So,
right.
anyways, we had a football game, if you want to call it that, on Sunday. Home opener. We've been looking forward to it for a while, to
Yep.
see what this team was made of. And, I mean, gosh, if you want a mixed bag, man, was
Yeah.
this a mixed bag? We saw what's that Clint Eastwood movie called, Jeff? The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I think we had
Yeah.
all that and then some in this game. So
Yeah.
I mean, there was
Yeah.
definitely some good, some bad, and some very ugly. So
Right.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, where do you want to start with this? What
Yeah.
what's the first thing you think of when you think back to Sunday, Jeff?
Just overall, how razor thin the margins are in the NFL and how you can play complementary football and do all kinds of really good things. But all it takes is a couple of things to go sideways, and you end up losing. Um, it reminds me that in the NFL you need to have offense, defense, special teams, but also you need to have luck. And we're now in our 27th season of just having no luck with with this
Well,
franchise.
there's luck. It's just not good luck.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, come on. I told somebody this week that if I watched 100 football games, I don't think I would see a pass doink off the receiver's hands straight up like that from the ground level into a defender's hands. I don't think I would see that once in a game, right? If I watched 100 more games,
Yeah.
it happened twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like the worst luck imaginable.
Right. Right. Um,
I mean, you have things like kickers are going to miss kicks. Um, Guys are going to miss blocks. They're going to miss tackle. Things are going to happen along the way, and you can usually recover from those things in a game. But when you have such bad luck that the ball just doesn't bounce your way, even once, I mean, think
yeah.
about how close the Browns came to sacking Joe Burrow for a safety. I mean, if he doesn't
Yeah. That
somehow
could have been the game.
somersault out of the end zone, we're up a point, right? I mean, just
Right.
the luck, the poor luck that this franchise has. Um, I don't know how it's possible for it to be this bad for this long.
I know. I know. And it's frustrating, and people think we're cursed. And I don't know. Some weeks it's hard to it's hard to dispute the curse. The fact that we may be cursed as a franchise, but
Yeah, no
um,
kidding.
I don't know. I don't know what you say about the bad luck. It seems like that's pretty much all the Browns get. So,
Yeah.
how do you overcome that? Is I don't know. Is that culture? Is that not having the right players or the right people in the building? I mean, it's bad luck.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
just bad luck. Yeah.
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't know how you I don't know how you overcome something that's out of your control. You
right,
it's
right. I know.
just the way the ball bounces, I mean, you can look at the offense and say, yeah, all in all, it wasn't a bad offensive performance for week one. There are things I didn't like about it. I'm not in love with the idea of Joe Flacco throwing the ball 45 times.
Yeah,
I just think you're asking for interceptions. You're asking for a disaster to happen. Um, but when you think about the fact that they could not run the football at all against a pretty mediocre Bengals defense, Ford and
yeah,
Sampson had 18 rushes for 37 yards in the game.
yeah, yeah.
18 for
That's
37. I mean, that's pathetic. And it's not
yeah,
Jerome Ford's fault. It's not Dylan Sampson's fault. It's the offense collectively doing a really poor job of creating space to run the football. I mean, this veteran offensive line, we thought going back to Kevin Stefanski's blocking schemes, we thought that they would bounce back. Well, obviously the ghost of Ken Dorsey is still roaming the halls
still in the building.
because yeah, when you have 37 yards rushing and on 18 attempts and your 40-year-old quarterback throwing the ball 45 times, that's vintage Ken Dorsey offense.
Yeah, yeah, and
That,
yeah,
that's
and Ro-
that's the frustration.
yeah, and their average was higher than Rocket Sanders, who had three carries for 3 yards, but he scored a
Yeah,
touchdown. So
yeah. I mean,
I mean, he's
I
on the
threw
goal line, so
I threw
um,
those out because yeah, he was on the goal line three
he's on the
straight
goal
times.
line. Yeah, I'm not
They
knocking
they
him.
showed absolutely
Um,
zero creativity on those three runs, and fortunately, on the third try, he was able to punch it in. Right.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, no knock on Sanders whatsoever.
yeah. And
Um,
again, I know it's early in the season. Game one, you don't have your full offensive package out there. Um, but I thought the telling thing in this game was, you and I mentioned at halftime that the defense in the first half was not great. They needed to step it up, and they did. In the second half, the defense was lights out, and that possession for Cincinnati in the fourth quarter, about 7 minutes or so left in the fourth quarter, where Miles sacked Burrow 2 times in a row, and then I guess Isaiah McGuire got him in the end zone and he somersaulted out, right? It's like the
yeah,
Browns get that's the signature defensive stand that you look for from
mhm,
our defense, right? And they got it, right? The Browns get the
right.
ball back and it's 7.5 minutes or so left in the fourth quarter. They're down a point or something. Yeah, down a point. And you get two nice first down catches from Jerry Jeudy. You're down to the 13-yard line. Okay. And you run the ball on first down. Okay. Nothing. Right. You throw a bubble screen to Harold Fannin on the second down. Nothing. And then Flacco takes a sack on third down. By this point, my grandson Jaden's sitting there listening to me scream
Yeah,
because I'm going, they're playing for the damn field goal again.
right, right.
You're on the 13-yard line, first down. You just got two nice first downs, and you play for the field goal with a kicker who blew an extra point his last time out. Okay. I just knew at that point that we were going to lose.
Right.
No matter how many more chances we had and how many fluky things happened in the last 2-3 minutes of the game, I just knew we were going to lose at that point
Yeah.
because we weren't trying to win.
Why change the offense so dramatically when you get down into the red zone? It's like, okay, we've
Yeah,
done enough. We've done enough.
because
Thanks, guys.
NFL coaches are conservative for the most part, and they don't want to take points off the board, right? So you're in field goal range. You only need a field goal to go ahead. You're going to trust your defense to come out and be able to shut the Bengals down again with 2 minutes left. I understand all of that.
Yeah, I do
Okay.
too. Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, but you're putting an awful lot of pressure on your rookie
Uh,
kicker at that point,
yeah, yeah. No,
who's
I
already
agree.
missed one kick, right? But
Yeah,
I mean, despite all that, they had more opportunities to try to win the game after that, and they just kept shooting themselves in the foot. But you could just tell that, the defensively that they held up, but you could just feel like kind of like the wind go out of their sails when that kick got missed. That okay, we're just not supposed to win this game, right?
yeah,
That's sad.
yeah,
That's really
yeah.
sad because so many games you and I have seen over the years. Hell, the Baltimore game, teams lose them at the end, right?
I,
Baltimore had a 15-point lead with
that,
5 minutes left.
that's about when I went to bed. Yeah, and I woke
Yeah,
up. I'm like, are you kidding me? They lost that
yeah,
game.
yeah. And the Bills came back and won that game because the Bills are a quality franchise and they figure out how to put points on the board. They don't
Yeah,
play not to lose,
right,
right? So
right.
anyway, lot to take away from week one. Um, it was hard to watch at times. It was fun to watch at other times. Um, I thought some players had really good games. I was really impressed with all the rookies. The rookies who
All
played
of them.
did a really nice job. Um, I have to shout out DeAndre Carter. Nice job as a kick returner, punts and kicks. I mean, made it through the whole game, knocking on wood, healthy.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and
right?
he looked like a returner. Yeah,
Yeah.
too. I
How
mean,
nice is
yeah,
it to have a professional kick returner finally?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that was great. I thought Fannin had a nice game. Greg Newsome, he was under the microscope with MJ Emerson being out and him having to slide over. I mean, he had a couple of tough plays, but all in all, um, they shut down Cincinnati's vaunted offense, especially in the second half. And Greg Newsome was a big part of that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
I agree.
some nice play from those guys. I mean, on the downside, and I didn't want to do top dog and bonehead for week one. I just didn't think that was fair. We'll
No, that's
resurrect that
fine.
segment down the road. But I mean, these would be the candidates, right? And the guys that I thought struggled, of course, the kicker, Andre
Mhm.
Schmidt. I feel for the kid. He's going to get another chance this week. Going into Baltimore is not the best environment for your second chance.
No.
I mean, hopefully he can get it figured out. And Jerome Ford just looks lost right now. He just looks lost. I hope he can figure out something because it's an awful lot to expect Quinshawn Judkins to come back in and fix this running game.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's going to take more than just a back or a running back, no matter how good they are, to come in and just fix things. So,
Right.
yeah, I agree with you. Jerome Ford didn't look good. But if you're giving the kicker another shot, I think you give your veteran running back another
Yeah.
shot. I mean, there were a
Yeah.
lot of people calling for Jerome Ford to be cut after the game, and that's that's a little bit much, guys. Just a
Yeah.
little
It's
bit
week one.
much.
It's
Yeah,
yeah. Week one, you were in the game right until the very end. Um, my concern is that on paper this was a really favorable matchup for the Browns, and they let this one get away.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. A couple of things. Before the game, the and I don't bet. I don't bet on anything anymore, Jeff. I don't do the fantasy stuff. I don't do anything. Haven't done a
Yeah.
fantasy league now in like 5 years. But the over under on receiving yards for Jamar Chase in this game was 87, and I saw they talked about it in the pregame. Somebody, whoever one of the talking heads was, picked the over on that. And I'm like, man, there's no way he's going to get 87 yards in this game. He's going to have Denzel on him most of the game. I'm like, I
Right.
would take the under on that all day long. And he ended up with, I can't remember his yardage total, but it was like 20 or 30 yards, I think.
It was
It wasn't
30
anywhere
something. Yeah, it
near.
wasn't much.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he had some catches. He's always going to have catches,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that was interesting. I want to go back to Flacco's 45 passing attempts. And I want to kind of talk about that and how it works in with the game plan that the Browns and Kevin Stefanski put together, in facing the Bengals. It was very apparent that they wanted to keep Joe Burrow off the field, and they did a heck of a job of that. I
Yeah.
don't know how many
Yeah.
possessions the Bengals had in the second half, but I think they had 3 in the first half. So Burrow did not get that many shots, and in the second half, it really didn't matter how many tries he got because the Browns' defense was cooking at that point.
Right.
But
Right.
because after the game, I'm looking, I'm like 45. I'm like, man, that's way too many. That's just way too many. We don't want that many. But
Right.
then I'm thinking, like you, the running game wasn't working. So they used some short passes, and it kind of fit in with their strategy of keeping Burrow off the field.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so was it ideal? No. I mean, you want what 15 of those to be rushing attempts at least. But it
Yeah.
just wasn't working. So I think they did what they had to do to stick with their game plan of moving the football, maintaining possession, and keeping him off the field. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which I think Stefanski and the Browns did a nice job of game planning for this game, but it's not like they don't know how to game plan against the Bengals. They've had the Bengals number, and again, this is just one of those games that they should have won.
Yeah.
Doesn't count that way, but they should have won.
Yeah. Yeah. We
I think
talked about it last week that that's a winning formula for this organization, for any football team, really. If you can win the time of possession battle, that gets you 90% of the way there. The problem is you have to turn it into points, and they dominated the Bengals in time of possession. They dominated in first downs, third down conversions. They did a nice job. Fourth down conversions were solid, but they only scored 16 points. You got to put the ball in the end zone more than that.
yeah.
Especially if you have a kind of a rookie kicker that's less than stellar, having a less than stellar day.
Right.
Yeah, I like that formula. I like the ability to sustain drives. I think, like you said, the way they did it was high percentage stuff that involved Sampson and Fannin primarily.
Yeah.
And that's good. You want to be able to do those kinds of things, but you can't just rely on that as an offense. And
It's tough. Obviously, it didn't result in a lot of points.
Yeah, and you come up against a team with a good defense like Baltimore this week, and that's not going to work. That's a recipe for pick sixes.
Yeah,
we've got to be able to do some other things well as an offense, and they're just not there yet.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. Yeah, the first completion was to Fannin, the second was to Isaiah Bond. I'm not sure we saw another target of Bond in that game. Not that I recall. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think that was his only attempt.
I think that was his only attempt, and it was in the very first set of downs.
Right.
That was kind of interesting because when I saw him on that second one, that second play, I'm like, wow, I'm surprised they're going to use him this much. And no, they weren't. They were just going to use him early, but not often.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, let's get his feet wet and then get him out of there. So that was kind of a little surprising. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I didn't expect him to play a lot.
They did a good job of involving a lot of guys in the offense. I thought, Judy had his opportunities. Tillman had his opportunities. We didn't really see Jamari Thrash at all.
Not till the end. I think he had one catch at the end. I think.
Yeah.
His only catch.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the tight ends. I mean, David Njoku had a very uncharacteristic day, I thought.
For yeah, for how much he and his brother or father Joe hang out. I mean, you would think that
I,
he would have had 10 targets in this game, but
yeah, just
um,
didn't happen.
maybe I don't know. I have to
I
go
mean,
back
he
and see
was,
how well he was covered most of the time.
yeah, I didn't really look at it that close. I mean, I know that he didn't do a very good job in the other aspects of the game either. So, in typical David Njoku fashion, he just underwhelmed us this week.
Yeah,
He's due for a bounce back.
let's hope so. What do you think of the Wildcat with Harold Fannin? That
Kind of,
surprise you
yeah,
at all?
kind of neat. I mean, yeah, look, yeah, I didn't expect there to be many trick plays this week. Um, but just to run something like that, just to show it, put it on tape, I think that's great. Um, you could just tell that Kevin Stefanski was flipping all the levers, just trying to do something other than what we just talked about. Just
Yeah,
trying to get some kind of run game or quasi run game going, and it just wasn't working. And I don't know. This offensive line just needs to do a better job of winning in the trenches. They're just not doing it. Um, is it because we've got these veteran guys that are getting kind of long in the tooth? Um, I mean, they're doing a decent job in pass protection, um, but pass protection is technique and run blocking is effort. And
yeah,
I don't think the effort is there from these guys to get into their blocks and win at the line of scrimmage, and then much less even get to the secondary level. Um,
wow. That's
so that's got to get fixed this week, or Baltimore's going to have a field day with us.
Yeah, Baltimore's always tough on the defensive line. Um, we know. So, yeah, they draft two new guys for the defensive line every year. So, yeah, the offensive line will have a test. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
going to be interesting to watch this offensive line um, over the coming seasons. I mean, this season to see how Dewan Jones plays, but as the offensive line transforms, how that happens, which guys
yeah,
end up stepping up and becoming starters that are here now, and how many more guys they have to bring in. So, um,
right.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of work to be done on that line over the next probably only 2 seasons, I would say, season or two.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
yeah,
thought Cornelius Lucas did a nice job when he came in for Jack Conklin. Um,
yeah,
Hopefully Jack is back this week. I I get so concerned about him and injuries. Um, Hopefully he can shake off the eye injury and play
I
again. But
hope so.
Cornelius Lucas did a nice job. He was probably the best offensive line play that the Browns had, was him coming in for Conklin. Um, but beyond
Right.
that, we're struggling to find guys that can win. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
that's tough when you're trying to build your team around a strong run game. Man, you just got to have
You,
more
you
up
need some
front.
guys up there. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. And
People want to use those
Andrew
picks
Berry
on.
has.
Sorry, Jeff, you go ahead.
I was just say Andrew Berry has been negligent over the last couple of years in finding us young offensive line talent. He's
Yeah,
he's brought in a couple of young middle of the line guys who haven't really gotten to there yet. You know, we needed to be developing more young offensive linemen.
right.
Um, we're going to be hurting over the next couple of years to try to make that transition in a hurry.
It feels like it. Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, yeah. I was just gonna say people want to use those two first round picks on quarterback next season already, and you know, not saying that's
Yeah,
not going to happen, but there may be. Well, there's going to be other needs too. So
yeah.
we'll see what happens. We got a lot of time to
Yep.
talk about that. So,
Yeah.
anyways, let's. Are you drinking water, Jeff?
Yeah. Just water.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll skip the Blitz beverages. I'm drinking a summer brew here. Just this
Okay.
this raspberry chocolate beer. Just trying to finish up some of the summer stuff
Okay. Sounds good.
before I restock with winter stuff. So,
Yeah, I
um,
was telling you before we came on that I was reading an article today about the top 10 non-alcoholic beverages, not top 10 non-alcoholic beers. Um,
yeah,
and I'm going to go out and start looking for some of those. I think I've just about exhausted my local grocery store options, so I need to find some new stuff for the coming shows. So I'm going to start visiting some other places.
yeah, you're gonna get that fridge filled up, kind of like mine gets to be sometimes.
Well,
Kind of
I've
cool.
got several options out there, but we've talked about all of them already. So I want to try to find
Oh,
I mean, non-alcoholic beers are gaining in popularity now, and
yeah,
there's more and more available all the time, and I just need to find other sources.
yeah. Oh, I understand. I go out to my fridge and I look, and I've got a bunch of beers out there. But I'm like, man, I think I drank all these on the show already. So,
Yeah,
so I tried to dig for something, but then I'm like, you know what? I just got to get rid of some of these here before they get too
yeah,
old. So, so
right.
yeah. So all right. Well, I think we'll call that a wrap on the Browns Bengals game, if you want to call it a game. It was
Yeah,
yeah. We'll try to take the good out of it, the stuff from the rookies and the dominant defensive performance, especially in the second half. But let's talk a
yeah.
little bit of news, Jeff. I guess the main thing in the news is the Quinshon Judkins stuff. So
Yeah,
he's um, I guess he probably signed since our last show, or did he sign
yeah,
before? I don't know. Anyways, he signed. He's made a trip to New York to
yeah.
talk to the NFL, and now he actually was a full participant in practice today. So couple questions out there is is he potentially going to play in Sunday's game at all? The Browns. It sounds like they're trying to get him ready for this game. Don't know if it's going to happen. You
Yeah.
can follow some fake headlines that say yes, he is going to play, but don't believe that yet. the, the other thing is what's going to come about the hearing that he had with the NFL and when's that going to come down. So, a
Right, right.
couple things we don't know anything about. So, I it's kind of silly to ask you to speculate on the hearing and all that stuff. We've already been talking about the potential suspensions and all that. We have no idea what's going to happen there. But
Yeah.
do you believe that they would let him play on Sunday, Jeff, after only what, a practice or two?
Possibly. Um, it just all depends on where they think he is with the playbook and the game plan for Sunday. Um, I don't see a point in it really, other than maybe, you're just trying to get one more game out of him this year than you would otherwise. Um, like we were talking about with the line, I don't think him being out there is going to have a material effect on the ability of the Browns to run the ball until the line starts to block a little bit better.
Hmm.
Um, yes, he can make guys miss that maybe Jerome Ford can't.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, still, it's not gonna work out well for Joe Flacco if Quinshon Judkins is missing blocking assignments.
right.
So I'd rather have him sit out another week, um, see what happens with the suspension. Um, if he
Give
does
up.
get a 4-game suspension, it's probably going to be retroactive at the beginning of the season. That means he only has to miss a couple more games. So why extend that suspension further into the season? You know,
Right.
by playing him now. So
Yeah, by giving him
yeah,
3 carries or 5 carries on this game.
yeah, well, yeah. Why? Right. So yeah, I think it's. I'm encouraged that they're going to get this worked out. I'm hopeful that he'll have an impact at some point this season. Where not long ago I was talking about him just redshirting this season. Um,
Yeah.
but this team has a lot of things to fix besides just putting another running back out there.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, yeah. We'll see about the other stuff too. But
Yeah,
he's certainly a guy that can make a difference once he's out there. But I agree with you. I'd rather have him at full speed. Um, and what you're talking about with the suspension and his impact of playing in this game, that makes a lot of sense too. So
yeah, yeah.
sure, could he go out there and have a couple nice plays? Yeah, but yeah, he could miss something too, and,
Hmm.
and hurt the Browns' chances. So yeah,
Yep.
I'm with you there. Um, the other thing in the news, which I guess caused quite a stink, which is interesting because you talked about this when he was signed, is that Bailey Zappi's leading the scout team, which
Yeah.
means that Shedeur Sanders isn't getting those reps, which I
Right.
think has some people up in arms. Um,
It's all about Shadur's reps, right?
right, right. How's he going to learn anything if he's not getting those reps?
Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean that's why they brought Bailey Zappi in, uh, to take the hits from our defense in practice. Um, he knows the playbook from last year, um, or pretty well, I would think. Um, I, I'm not worried about Shador anymore. I think we're going to get to Shador time eventually this year,
Yeah,
but right now there's no point in monitoring that situation this closely. You
yeah. We
know,
play one
he,
game. Yeah,
yeah, he is what he is, and can he be more eventually? Maybe. Um, but I don't think that running the scout team is going to change the trajectory of his career with the Browns right now. Let's just worry about getting a run game going and
yeah.
being
There's
able
other
to,
more. You mean there's more
yeah,
important things than the third string quarterback? Is what you're telling me.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. All right.
Huh.
Okay, I guess we're about ready to talk about the Ravens. Before we do that, we're going to take a quick break here on the Fanatical Elves Network. We'll be back in just a moment. And we're back with more of the Browns Blitz here, getting ready to talk Browns Ravens. Browns headed to Baltimore to face the hated. Is that too strong a word, Jeff? Ravens at 1 o'clock.
Not for me.
Yeah, and the Browns go into Baltimore coincidentally as the Ravens have their 30th anniversary celebration, which I'm going to call the We Stole Cleveland's Team Jamboree, intentionally in the face of the Browns and their fans. Okay, they they could have done this anytime. Um,
Right.
they and we're not the only ones talking about this, but
Yeah.
did you have to do this during a Browns game? It's like, wow, we've
Yes,
been
they
here
did.
30 years. It was 30 years ago that we stole your team.
Yes, they did. Yep.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
they 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 can't miss an opportunity to rub our noses in it. They've obviously been the successful franchise, and we've been the laughing stock.
And that's
So
not
why
enough
not?
for them.
Yeah, why not continue to bully us? I'm fine with that. You know, go out and play like you're insulted, Cleveland Browns. Um, I'd love them to motivate us more. Um, we need more reasons to go out and play hard against our division rivals.
Yeah.
So, the Ravens being catty about this, and trying to rub our noses in it, good. Look, use that as fire. and go out and lay some wood on them.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about the Browns players kind of lighting a fire under some of the Ravens guys? So, I don't know if you saw the quotes, but
Yeah.
um,
Grant Delpit.
Grant Delpit and Jerry Judy both. I
Yeah.
can't remember which one was first, but
Yeah.
um, Jerry Judy asked about concerns with the Ravens DBs, and I can't remember the exact quote, but he said that he didn't have any.
Yeah.
And Grant Delpit talking about how hard it was to tackle Derrick Henry, and he said not hard. Um,
Yeah. That kind of stuff works for the Steelers. I mean, it
yeah,
works for other organizations, but it always
well,
tends to blow up in our face.
it usually
Um,
does.
so yeah, I don't know why they feel the need to give the
I think
Ravens any
they're
bulletin
I
board
think they're a little
material.
upset about this 30th anniversary thing.
Good.
Is my
I hope
guess.
so. I hope so. I mean, you, what you should be upset about is that you're 11 and a half point underdogs. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
nobody thinks you have any chance in this game. So let that be your motivation.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they were home dogs to the Bengals by, yeah, I can't even remember that spread. What was that? They,
Five and a
four and a
half,
half, five and a half.
five and a
Yeah.
half. Yeah. Yeah.
So nobody's giving this team any credit. And I mean, they're going to have to win games to get it. It's not going to matter if they play well and lose. People are
Right.
going to look at the record.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's always interesting when the Browns play the Ravens. The Ravens are a team that typically finds a way to beat the Browns, even when we've seen the Browns outplay the Ravens. The Ravens typically still come away with the win. So
Yep.
so the Browns are going to have to play really good, mistake-free type of football in this game. That's just how it is, especially in Baltimore. Um,
Hmm.
just and Baltimore's coming off that tough loss to Buffalo, so
I
they've
don't think
got a
they
little
want to.
something going.
I don't think they want to go 0 and 2.
Probably don't want to go 0-2, and that's their little jamboree thing going on and all that. So, they
Yeah.
want to leave the fans happy, but they got to know they've pissed the Browns off by having this thing. So, so it's very interesting. They're favored by 11 and a half. I was just looking at the stats from the Buffalo game, but man, Jeff, that game was 41-40, 81 points.
Yeah.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine if they put the over under out on a game at 80 and a half? How many, how many people would have taken the over on that?
Yeah. Yeah. Ohio State was what 61 and a half last week.
Yeah, and hopefully people took the over. I would have. I
And
mean,
they covered. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That game just really kind of went off the rails in the fourth quarter. Buffalo had no real business coming back in that game, and
Oh, they did.
Baltimore
I mean,
just let
yeah. I mean,
let them in.
yeah. When I checked out, Baltimore was moving the ball at will. Derrick Henry
Yeah.
was just running the ball 10, 15, 20 yards at a clip. Um, and
Yeah.
Buffalo seemed to have no answer whatsoever. They just couldn't even slow him down. So, yeah, I missed the last part of the game, but yeah, I mean the stats. Obviously, Baltimore scored 40 points, so we hope that they're not going to do that against the Browns. But I mean,
Right.
Lamar Jackson. It's interesting, Jeff. That they scored 40 points in this game. The Browns scored 13, and Lamar had 19 passing attempts in this game. And Derrick Henry
Yeah.
only ran the ball 18 times.
Yeah.
It's kind of the stats are really kind of funky for having scored that many points. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Derrick Henry 18 for 169, so he averaged almost 10 yards a carry. You wonder how a team loses when their running back has that kind of a line. And Zay Flowers, 9 receptions, 143 yards, and a touchdown. He was pretty much the only guy on the only receiver to really do anything in that game. Lamar threw for 209, so he had 50, 60 other passing yards. You know,
Yeah.
so uh, I mean, the matchup's always interesting. The Browns in a lot of games have done pretty well against Derrick Henry. Not every game, but for the most part, they've found a way to slow him down, which is interesting because they've been gashed by a lot of other running backs, but they've
Right.
done pretty well against Derrick Henry historically. Lamar, yeah, Lamar is he's been another story sometimes. So
Well,
um,
for me, the concern with Lamar is in recent games, we've used JOK as our Lamar stopper.
yeah,
And of course, we don't have him at this point. So who's going to step up and be that spy? Who's going to keep an eye on him and keep him contained? Because if we can't do that, then it could be a really long day for us defensively. That's when Lamar is at his best. Um,
well, it's a tall order for Carson Schlesinger, but
yeah, I
I
don't
don't know
think
who
so.
else can
I
do
mean,
it. You
yeah.
know,
I think our defensive line can only do so much in terms of containing him. His escapability requires an extra guy, and it's
yeah,
going to be interesting to see how Jim Schwartz game plans for that with the new personnel.
right, right,
I mean, I think I feel good about our defense being able to hold up um, versus Baltimore. I mean, I don't think Buffalo has a great defense. Um,
they didn't look great when I was
Buffalo
watching them.
Buffalo just has the ability to score more points than we do. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be hard holding Lamar to the same sort of stat line that we held Burrow to, um,
It is, yeah,
because it's just a little harder to put pressure on him. Um, so that's one factor in terms of how the game plays out is can we get any sort of containment on Lamar? Um, maybe it comes from different places. We'll see how they plan that out.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, just watching that Buffalo game. I mean, Lamar is just. I mean, he's been around long enough that he's just more experienced, and you give him half a second. As soon as that guy breaks in, he's gone. You know, he
Yep.
knows it doesn't take him any time whatsoever to take advantage of somebody losing that containment. So,
Yep.
um,
Yep.
yeah, they need Schwartz at his best to have a good game plan in this one. But I mean, they've done it. They've been able to slow this Ravens offense down, and that's
Hmm.
really what you're talking about. I don't think you expect them to shut them down like they did the Bengals. There's
Right.
just it's just too much to ask. So you have to count, I think, on your offense a little bit more in this game, and you got to slow them down and try to keep the Ravens offense to maybe 20 points or something if you're lucky, and hope your offense can outscore them.
Right.
I think that's kind of what you're looking at. That's probably the game plan. I mean, I just you're not going to go into Baltimore very often and hold them to 10 points. It's just not going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
So
It's that matchup is concerning. Um, their offense versus our defense. I mean, it's strength against strength.
yeah,
Um, so that'll be interesting to watch how well we can hold up because it's early in the season. Um, you know, there are some wrinkles yet to be exposed on both sides. Um, so if everything else is equal, the Browns defense should be up to the task, like you said, to hopefully holding Baltimore under 20. That would be
in
ideal
that
if they
area.
held them
Yeah.
under 20. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Then the question becomes, can our offense do a better job against the Ravens defense than they did against the Bengals defense? And I think that's where the issues start to show up.
Well, I think you're, um, man, I don't think you can if you're being as conservative as you were against the Bengals. Um,
Right.
I mean, yeah, you're obviously going to have to take care of the football,
Hmm.
but you're going to have to finish some drives. You're going to have to take some chances on scoring the football. You know,
Yeah.
you can't just go down there and get to the 20 and then either go for it on fourth down and not make it, or just check up and go for a field goal all the time. You know,
Right.
because you're going to need points in this game. You know, kicking or attempting 3 or 4 field goals and hoping to get a touchdown or two is not going to help you in this game.
Right.
It's just not.
Yeah. And we've seen in the past how the Ravens have made our offense one dimensional. Um, they will stack the box. They will dare Joe Flacco to throw the ball. And like I said earlier, if the formula is, Joe throwing it 45 times, um, some of those throws are going to get returned the other way. It's just going to happen. That's what we've seen Joe do in the past. And we're not going to be able to insulate him from that if we can't run the football. So taking
Yeah.
those chances will hopefully equal, more points for us. We just hope it doesn't balance out to more points against us, right?
Yeah. 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 It makes sense. Yeah. I feel like they're not going to win this game without going down the field some. Um, I
Yeah,
don't think he took many shots at all against the Bengals. His longest pass completion was probably what 20 some yards,
if that,
if
yeah,
that. Yeah, if that.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
not saying I want him throwing deep all the time, but I think you almost are going to have to occasionally. Maybe a few times just to um, maybe keep the Ravens honest, and I mean, use your guys. I mean, you got Isaiah Bond and um, whoever else has some speed, run those guys. Stretch the field occasionally, just to maybe help your running game, maybe open some things up a little bit. So, um, yeah, let's hope that the interceptions don't don't happen too often, and don't come back the other way.
right, yeah, yeah,
um, yeah, I mean, do you have any faith that the Browns can run the football against the Ravens, Jeff?
none,
None whatsoever.
not right now, not right now.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
understandable.
until we see this offensive line start to play like they did 2 years ago, um, yeah, I don't. I mean, I know what I would do if I was a defensive coordinator. I mean,
Yeah,
I would make that 40-year-old quarterback throw the ball,
right.
and we know his history again. So um, you can't blame the interceptions last week on him 100%. I mean,
No,
he has some responsibility, but again, they were just fluky interceptions they're going to go in, in the column of Joe threw 2 interceptions last week. But um,
we know what happened. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, against Baltimore, the margins are going to be even thinner. Um, the windows are going to be tighter. And if we're asking him to do more, um, the risk that comes with that is that we're going to see some bad things happen too. So the solution is we need better play from the offensive line. We need to be able to
yeah,
run the football. And if that means we need to have some two back sets or go heavy more often or whatever it is, we need to be able to run the football. to be successful, to even get our offense to where it needs to be this year. The offensive line needs to be able to get some push. So that's what you got to see a little bit of that this week. And if you don't, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, especially in this stretch of games against the teams you're playing.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to be hard enough to compete in these games and to try to get a win or wins. Yeah, if your running game is taken away and shut down, it's going to make it nearly impossible. So
yeah.
So let's hope they can come up with a formula. Take some of your advice. You know, go heavy, go two backs. You know, mix things up a bit. Yeah, I don't know. You know, maybe against the Packers, Quinshon Judkins can get in there and start to help. I'm not saying he's going to help us win, but
right.
but maybe getting him on board and going can help this team. You know, then throughout the season.
Yeah.
Hopefully, some other guys can bounce back, and hopefully they do get Jack Conklin back.
Yeah,
definitely too. So. Yeah. So
we knew that the beginning of the season was going to be a daunting task.
It was, and you know, Jeff, I think we know that the Buffalo offense is good. I don't think we know what the Buffalo defense is. It's week one, and I know the Ravens were good last season, and they have Lamar, and they have Derrick Henry, and they have a good team, but it's really hard to know how good anybody is after week 1, 2.
Right.
You know, so
yep.
So this looks like a really tough game, but you know, I don't want to write the Browns off, you know, before they even take the field on this one either. So, you know, I think they have a shot. I think they have a shot in pretty much any game if they play really well, especially if they do the things we talked about. You know, get the running game going. If their defense plays really well in any of these games, that's always going to give them a shot.
Yeah.
You know, you think about it in the Bengals game, the Browns defense gave the Bengals nothing in the second half. But in that game, the Browns defense didn't get a turnover, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had 3 sacks and they were on 3 successive plays. So the Browns defense played great, but they didn't have any. They didn't create any turnovers. They didn't really affect the game.
Other than one drive.
Other than that one drive. So I think that's something that we'd like to see in games this season. You know, and I'm not knocking a unit that just played a great game. I'm just saying I think that we could see more from this defense. You know, I'm sure that they want to take the ball away. I'm sure that, you know, this defensive line probably wanted more than those 3 sacks in that game. So definitely not getting on them, but the fact that all happened in that one set of downs, those guys are probably expecting bigger things.
Yeah.
Despite how consistent they were in that Bengals game.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can do that. Hopefully they can, you know, have some forced fumbles, some picks, some things like this, and you know, those are the kind of things that can turn a game around too.
Right.
Especially if they can give this offense a short field, that would definitely help out. So
yeah.
So yeah.
When your offense has 20 or so more plays than your defense in a game, the defense is getting off the field and the offense is possessing the ball. That's a good formula for the defense to be able to have an impact in the game, but also to be fresh and right, motivated to play. When the character is really is called on is when you get to those games where the defense can't get off the field or the offense can't stay on the field, and
Same
That's
thing.
when you really need your defense to make one of those kind of big plays.
Yeah.
You know, that's when you need that turnover, that fumble, that forced fumble on a sack, you know, an interception for a touch, a pick six. That's when you really have to count on your defense to keep you in the game, to get you in the game, and not lose hope and you know, lose motivation to play.
Right.
That's
Right.
where we need to see this team develop a personality. You know, we're really not going to have an offensive personality this year, I don't think. I think our offensive personality is just going to be vanilla. You know, try to be safe, try to possess the ball, try to turn it
Probably.
over, those kinds of things, right? Where
Yeah.
the Cleveland Browns can develop an identity is a defense like what Pittsburgh does that has the ability to take over a game, whether you're leading or losing or anywhere in between. That defense needs to be able to impose its will on the other team's offense. If we can develop that kind of personality for our defense this year and make that our calling card as an NFL team, um, that's going
Yeah.
to give our rookie quarterbacks a chance.
Right. Right. And the other part of that is when your defense makes a play like that, your team has to play complementary. So your offense has to go out there and do something with it. You know,
Right.
they can't go out there and have a 3-and-out after a after a fumble recovery, things like this,
Right.
or the defense is just like, oh my gosh, what are we even doing this for? You know,
Right. And I
so
think we had a lot of that last year.
yeah, definitely. The defense was good enough to do that stuff, but the offense couldn't back any of it up.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think this offense will develop personality. You know, and maybe that'll go with the team. You know, with the defense, but you know these young guys. You know, I think Judkins and Sampson and Fannin and the other guys, maybe Judy, whoever else. These guys will develop, you know, a personality on the offense, but it's going to take some time, and that may not happen until the Browns find out who their quarterback's going to be, who their quarterback's
Yeah.
the future's going to be on.
I think you're 100% right.
Yeah,
That's when you'll figure it out.
yeah,
You'll be able to really build an offense around the strengths of your leader. Right now, we have an offense that can work with any quarterback. That's what Kevin Stefanski has done since he's been here is he's utilized an offense that can work no matter who the quarterback is. And that's led to really not having a personality, right? So
yeah,
I'm really counting on the defense this year to bring that personality to the table. Um, and if that can happen, it's going to give our offense a chance. We can probably be competitive in most games with this average offense if our defense develops that kind of personality. So
yeah.
that's what you can look for in the next few games. They're going to be tough games. They're going to be
Mhm.
high scoring games probably. We're
Yeah.
playing really good teams, but does our offense hold up their side of the bargain, like you said? But primarily, can our defense be that weapon? Can they, regardless of the circumstances, find a way to make the big play? That'll tell us if we've got a chance or not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely facing some tests. Yeah, yeah. We'll see how they handle it. So,
Right.
um, yeah. So Jeff, the Ravens again favored by 11.5 at home. The
A
over
lot of
under on this
points.
one is yeah, that's a lot. Is 45. So yeah. Do you just want to give a prediction, or do you want to say whether you would take the points or not?
Yeah, I mean,
That's a lot of points, man.
normal circumstances, Rod, I would take the Browns and the points. I mean, I think that's a lot of points.
It is a lot.
especially
Yeah.
especially when you have a good defense. You know, this shouldn't be a high scoring game. Um, I just think that the tea leaves are telling me that this is going to be one of those games that just goes off the rails early because Baltimore is going to game plan for our limited offense and they're going to turn it into points. And it's not going to be our defense's fault.
Yeah.
Um, it's just going to be a function of how limited we are on offense. And I've told you what needs to happen for them to fix that. I just don't know that they can do it in a week.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, my thinking is that the defense is probably going to do what we asked of them. The offense is going to have a really rough day against Baltimore. I'm sticking with the under, but just barely. Um, and I'm counting on Flacco to throw at least one pick six. So I think it's going to be
Okay.
Baltimore 30, Cleveland 13. Um, it's going to feel like the end of the world to most Browns fans. Um,
Yeah.
but hopefully the thing that we can take away from this again is that our defense will find a way to impose their will on Lamar at least once or twice. And that will give us something to build on in the coming
Mhm.
games.
Yeah. So the 13, Jeff, is that 2 field goals or is that a missed extra point in this game?
Well, it's probably a couple of missed field goals, but I'm figuring on him. I'm figuring on him making two of them.
Making a couple field goals? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I don't know. It could be a missed extra point. I don't know. It's it's going to be tough. I just think it's going to be hard for the offense to generate any type of field position, to generate any type of run game, and it's just going to expose Joe Flacco um, in the worst way.
Yeah. Yeah. So before I give my prediction here, I wanted to go back to last week. Jonathan was the only one to pick the Bengals. He had the Bengals 21-17.
Yeah.
Uh, Jeff and I both had the Browns. Jeff 23-17. I had 20-13. I just had 13 for the Bengals instead of the Browns. I was going to say, wow, I got 13 right, but I didn't even do that. So
I just want to say,
it was
Rod, that
under.
if the Browns had gone for a touchdown at that 6.5 minute mark of the fourth quarter that I talked about earlier, instead of settling for a field goal, if they had gone for a touchdown and gotten it and kicked the extra point, the score of that game would have been exactly what my prediction was, 23-17.
Well, I mean, the Bengals only scored 14, but you're saying they would have gotten another field goal?
No, the Bengals scored 17.
I thought it was 14-13.
No, 17-16 was final score.
Oh, okay. All right. I wrote it down wrong, I guess. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So yeah, so 17-16. So throw another touchdown on there instead of settling for the mixed extra or missed field goal. It would have been exactly 23-17. They
Yeah,
by
you're
all
right.
rights
You're right.
should have won that game 23-17.
Okay. Wow.
And I predicted 3.5 sacks from the Browns defense, and they got 3 on
They got
successive
3.
plays.
They got 3. Miles had a nice start with 2 sacks. So yeah.
They just needed another half sack anywhere at any point in the game.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, you and I again were thinking about the same. I wrote mine down before you said it. Before you said yours, I had the Browns losing 30-17. So you had 30-13. You're taking the under. I'm taking the over.
All right, so that'll be the tiebreaker.
Not real exciting. But I'm kind of thinking the way you are. I would love the Browns to compete in this game, and they might for a while, but I just think I think the Ravens defense will probably score in this game, and you know the Browns defense will play a good game, um, but the Browns offense will probably struggle. So, um,
Yep.
but I got them scoring 17 points. I think I'm hoping Andre Schmidt gets it right, and hits a couple extra points in the field goal, no misses, and and hopefully that would be something we could take out of the game. Um,
Yeah.
I just, I would love nothing better than to be wrong and to have the Browns go in and win this game 40-7. On this Ravens fiasco jamboree thing. And just it just
Right.
embarrassed the crap out of them. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they're going to have a hard time doing that. So
Yeah.
I'll be rooting for them to do it. So
Yep.
we'll see what
Me too.
happens. All right. So any final thoughts tonight, Jeff?
Just as you know, I'm going to miss next week, so I hope things go better than I expect them to for the next couple of games. But whether or not they do, this season is a learning process. It's about getting young players acclimated to the NFL game. It's about getting back to what this organization did successfully in the past. Um, let's hope that we don't see Joe Flacco throwing the ball 45 times again this year. I want to see that number in the low 30s going forward. We don't need a repeat of the Ken Dorsey offense. So hang in there. It's going to be tough over the next few weeks. But eventually I think they're going to right this ship, and we're going to figure out how to put points on the board like a real NFL team. And I think if our defense can hang in there until we get there and keep up the effort, the second half of the season could be some fun.
I think so. All right. This has been the Browns Blitz. We thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time.